Welcome back, grade 8 students, to your math lesson. Last time around, we discussed about the proportional relationship in graphing. This time, we're going to be talking about the x and y intercepts in graphing. Okay? So, an x-intercept is basically when a line, or when your line that you're graphing, okay, crosses, meets, or intercepts with the x-axis. Okay? So that means when you're graphing or when you're plotting your points, or when you're drawing your line, okay, when you already have your points laid out, and then you're just graphing it or connecting the dots, and your line crosses or meets, okay, the x-axis, then you can call that an x-intercept. Now, the ordered pair for any x-intercept is basically any x value, okay, but the y must be 0, okay? For the y-intercept, it's similar or the same, pretty much the same as our x-intercept, but this time we're talking about our y-axis, okay? So the ordered pair for the y-axis, of course, is the x should always be 0, okay? And you can have any y value. Now here's a graphing example that we have, okay? As you can see here, there's a line going through here, right? It's going from 0, we'll see if, there and there is the x-intercept, right? So our first point where we have the y-intercept, that is 0x and 5y. Yeah? And for our second point below here, that's negative 2x and 0y. Okay? So our y-intercept has 0x, meaning that it will stay in the middle here, and you can have any value of y. Okay? It means you can go up or down. And in this example we have here, we went up 5. Okay? And for our x-intercept here, okay, the ordered pair for an x-intercept is any value for x, but your y should be 0, meaning that you can either go left or right, but it cannot be near, or you cannot go up and down, right? You can only stay within the x-axis. Now, here we have our first example. Okay, state the x and y intercepts. Okay, so for this one, okay, our x-intercept is, I'm going to give you to the count of 3 for you to write it down. Okay, it's going to be negative 4 and 0y, right? Yes, you're correct. How about our y-intercept? I'm going to give you another 3 seconds for that. That is correct, okay? So our y-intercept is 0, 2, okay? So as you can see, our x crosses, if you look over here, our blue circle over here, okay? It touches the x-axis, and our y-intercept touches the y-axis, okay? That's the basic concept of our x and y intercepts, okay? So here we have another example, okay? And this time, our y-intercept is 0, 6, and our x-intercept is 3, 0, right? So it's always like this, okay? An intercept must always touch, okay, either x or y, okay? But it doesn't mean that we can't have points in the middle of these or after it, or, you know, it just means that if you must have an x-intercept, okay, it just means that your line should touch x. If you must have a y-intercept, that just means that your line must touch y. As simple as that. Okay, so here's another example. Okay, so here we have an example, right? As I just said, you don't always need to have both of them. Okay, you can have just for x-intercept or just for y-intercept. So our x-intercept for this is 5, comma 0. Our y-intercept, okay, the question is, will this vertical line ever cross the y-axis? Right? It will never cross the y-axis because it's not slanted, okay? It's just vertically straight, meaning that it will go up and down forever, okay, within the x value 5, okay? It can go 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, or it can go 5, -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth, but it will never move the x-intercept value or the x value, okay? So the answer to that is a big no. Okay, so our y-intercept for this certain graph is none. So I hope you learned something today. Our lesson was short, but this is just part 1 again. We will be having more to study about the intercepts. We're going to be using them with slopes in our part 2 of this video. So, graded students, see you in part 2.